Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of Little Witch Academia episode 16. Now this one, I thought it was very funny. I really did like this one. I guess I say that pretty much every week for this show. I think that it's usually a pretty solid show, especially the past 5 to 7 episodes. It's been on a streak of really good episodes. And this was another one that I would consider to be really good. Starting at the beginning, just so I don't leave anything out, we have confirmation, or we're pretty much just told, Lotte throwing some exposition, just pretty much like, oh, so you've just told us about all this stuff. It's like, okay, good use of Lotte. But Akko told Lotte and Susie about Arcturus, Triskelion, the Colombe Soleil, etc. We have a flashback quickly to Woodward with Ursula and Kroy that I thought was very interesting, or at least I'm assuming it's Kroy, it looks like her. Akko, apparently, she goes to see Ursula. Ursula tells them that she's close to the fourth word, but she lacks something. And when asked, okay, how do I go get it? Ursula's like, this is your thing to learn on your own. Kind of similar to what Woodward told her and Kroy. So it's her thing to learn on her own. And they're going to Lotte's house. Then we see some scenes with Kroy, and she just looks so much like a Pokemon villain to me every time we see her. And she's experimenting with emotions and the magic they release, and apparently anger releases the most magic energy, or that seems to be what she's found, but I mean, it's anime, so I'm expecting somebody to come in later like, no, love releases the most energy or something, because of course. Then Susie with the pies. Susie is so adorable, loving the pies. I looked it up, and I'm pretty sure it's like pickled herring pies. And then they have a sauna scene, and yes, please sauna scene, please. Then Lotte's village is turned to moss, and at first I was like, are they turned to moss? And then when they said moss, I felt kind of like, okay, yeah, I guessed it. Yeah, they were moss. And Susie, again, was very cute when she thanks the neighbor for making the pies, even though the neighbor is made of moss at this point. Apparently it's called Green Man Disease. And again, there's this brand of comedy that they keep doing with Little Witch Academia where the comedy is just, I don't know, them kind of, it's a weird type of comedy to describe, but this scene is something that they do similarly, where she's naming off all the different weird conditions for this disease to happen, and they're like, wow, it all happened just so right. And it's like they take something mundane, like, oh, this disease is spreading, or the novels that she read back in episode like 3, 4, somewhere in that area, and what were they called? The Nightfall, I think, were the name of the novels. But they take these things that any other show or anything would just have a simple explanation. Oh, it's just a disease, it's just books or whatever. And they give it this really overly complex backstory or whatever for comedic effect. Like having there be like 700 some of the books, and they're about all this crazy stuff that's going on. And they just throw that in the background as like not important to the plot. But this is all this crazy stuff happened for it to get here in the plot. They did the same with the disease. And yeah, that seems to be a kind of weird sort of comedic thing they do, and I like it. It's very unique, and I thought it was funny. And then ingredient collection time. Akko sucking at waiting is funny. Then something hit me that I still can't quite figure out. How were they flying? Were they flying on Lotte's broom? Because they flew off on Lotte's broom. How? They don't have the thing there, the Sorcerer's Stone. I thought that was the whole reason they had to take buses and stuff, was because they couldn't fly on the broom outside of the range of the thing. So maybe I missed something, but I don't get how her broom worked there. Plot hole, maybe? I don't know. So then, Nicholas is missing in action, then they get back and Susie is moss. Lotte goes down too. Akko then bribes a bird that brings the reindeer to her to let her find Nicholas. And the reindeer running the way they did the animation of it running on its hind legs at that one sequence was funny. Akko waiting for the droppings was funny as well. Then she goes off to see the Yeti. And this poor Yeti just being forced to make this thing over and over again. And this was maybe the funniest scene in Little Witch Academia, or at least the scene that I think I've laughed harder than I have at maybe any other anime before. When the Yeti just bolts out the door, leaves the comedic imprint of his body in the door as he bolts out of it. And then when Akko goes to see him, that was like, okay, I was like, it's funny, it's whatever. And then Akko finds out, he shows her the phone and he's being cyberbullied. And I was so done. I was dying. That was the thing I think I've laughed the hardest at in anime. I was completely dying at this Yeti being cyberbullied. It's so just weird and out of left field that's the reason he couldn't make everything right, and it was so good. Akko then is starting to turn into moss while she's walking back, and that was a really good scene as well, especially with the flashes to the thoughts in her mind. It was really feelsy and done really, really well. Nicholas's Santa was funny when she saw Miss Santa coming up towards her. And the fourth Cologne Soleil, she activates it while making the antidote, and it's a hand blender. I was like, okay, first she gets this, the bow, which is awesome. Then she gets this, like, axe, sword, scythe thing, which is awesome. Then this grappling hook rope thing, which is also awesome. And now it's like the fourth word turns it into a hand blender. So very weirdly specific choice there. Then some thoughts for the episode and stuff. The opening and ending, they have grown on me even more than I liked them at first. They are just so good. I really did love this episode. I thought it was super funny. There was a bit of feels in there. It was a cute episode with Lotte's family and everything. And it had some pretty strong lessons, I guess. I mean, the lessons and stuff weren't really strong, but I like the sort of chill, relaxed way they went about, just like, oh yeah, he's being cyberbullied, let's make this dude feel better and get his work done. Or just the lesson about patience was kind of the big one, I guess. So it was interesting. It hit on lessons without being preachy or childish or anything, but also not doing the thing that so many other shows have done by now, which is like the anti-moral way of doing it. So I thought it was cool that they sort of just went their own way and were just like chill, whatever, threw that in the background there. So yeah, overall, I thought it was very funny and just a normal, cute, good episode that I can't really say anything bad about. So I'll give it 9 cyberbullied Yetis out of 10. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Little Witch Academia and more. A bunch of other anime on the channel, amongst other things. I guess follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. That is it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.